with being so involved with this like industry or whatnot and having your hands in so many buckets, like how did you get involved in all this? How
Yeah.
what's your like process of networking to get into all these cool projects and start producing your own and whatnot?
Yeah. So, okay, back in the day, a lot of these websites no longer exist. Like, there was a group called Hidden Block, which a bunch of other gaming YouTubers, and they had like a forum where people could share their stuff. That was a little before my time, but that one Video Gamer did the same thing, where they had a website where they spotlighted creators,
Right.
and I submitted, I think, my first video to them, and they highlighted it, and that's how I met Gerard through that. Like, um, and also around that time, the Game Theorists started a show about the like history of Smash Brothers, like
Okay.
move sets and stages and stuff. And I had a very similar show. And I had a friend who just tweeted at MatPat, like, "Hey, my friend also had a series like this. You should check it out." And Matt just happened to see that tweet and
No
happened to click
kidding.
on it and happened to watch my stuff. And he was like, "Oh, this is good." And he was looking for editors at the time because I think he had Ronnie and Foot of a Ferret as the only editors at the time. And he
Right.
reached out, and that's how I met Matt, just through pure happenstance on Twitter. And
and
Matt, being
and
Matt, opened a lot of like gateways and doorways.
right. Okay.
And
So that was like the entry to like video production for you, would you say? Like professionally at least?
yeah, yeah, that professionally, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Like it, honestly, getting into YouTube and all that stuff, it's pure luck. Like being good is nice, right? But
Being good is nice. Yeah,
being
that is
being good
true.
is nice, but there are a ton of editors and creatives who are better at video production than I am, who just for whatever reason, unfortunately, didn't have the same luck.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean like there will always, be people who are just much better at what you do. It's just kind of the
yeah,
process of it. But like, it's worth mentioning that if you had just the luck and not the skill, I'm sure this wouldn't have happened, right?
hmm
So it's like definitely being good at stuff pays off in some sense.
what's that famous quote? Like, opportunity is luck mixed with whatever. Yeah, it's something like that.
Determination or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Because if you just happen to get lucky and someone's like, "Hey, edit this video," and then you just do a poor job,
yeah.
obviously it
Then
wouldn't.
they're like, "Thank you for your service. Move on,
Yeah,
please."
yeah, yeah. We'll pay you for the day, and we'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
move on. So yeah, and how long exactly did you like edit for Game Theory? Was it or not edit, but produce content?
Yeah,
Were
yeah,
you editing and producing content for
yeah.
them?
So I was doing both. The way the setup was, like, I was primarily an editor, and I did for a while there. I was actually primarily a writer as well. Um, like I transitioned away from editing for a little bit. Um, it that was 2015 to 2018 when I started at Normal Boots. Yeah, so about that 3 year span, 2.5, 3 year span.
Right.
Um, most of it was editing and writing, and Matt, being an amazingly generous, very kind human being, also gave a lot of the editors like chances to pitch the show. Because at the time, you look at the channel now and it's very different because of how YouTube operates. But at the
Sure.
time, like, Matt wanted the Game Theorists. That's why it's called the Game Theorists and not Game Theory.
Right.
He wanted the Game Theorists to be a platform for other creators to do stuff. So he would let other people pitch shows, which is why at the time you had Gaijin Goomba have his cultural series on there.
Right. Yeah.
Um, the late great Ronnie Edwards had Digressing and Side Questing, which was like a game design analysis.
Of course. I remember that Super Metroid video very well. I
Yeah,
always think
like
about it every
that was
time I play
great.
the game now.
I think about his Doom one, about how Doom is not a 3D game, which
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
fascinating.
yeah, you're right. No, I literally can't play those games now without thinking of those videos. It's crazy.
Which is insane to think about the impact
Yeah,
videos like that can have.
definitely.
Um, and writer Foot of a Ferret, who also is still very active. You should check him out.
Sure.
He had a brief history, and I had the breakdown. And brief history and breakdown were like polar opposite
tonality wise.
Yeah, tonality retrospectives.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because his was
Yeah,
like,
that's interesting.
let's cover a whole series in less than 10 minutes. Let's go. And mine
and
was
you
like, let's
take like a small thing and just expand
let's
it.
talk about this one game for like 15 minutes. Why don't we?
Right. Hey there. You just watched a clip from my creative podcast. If you'd like to check out the full episode, you can support me over on Patreon. And if not, you can subscribe to check out more clips coming here soon.